everybody, welcome back. Just kind of want to walk you through what I'm doing now. If you remember from last time, I'm installing bigger wheels on the Simplicity, and I'm installing some bigger tires. And so the front end, I wanted to upsize the tires, and decided to go with golf cart hubs. To put golf cart hubs up front, you saw me install one of those, and I found on Marketplace a set of golf cart wheels and tires. And mainly just because I want to try them out, and I didn't want to spend a ton of money on wheels and tires just to find out they weren't going to fit or work. And so I bought a set of wheels and tires for $20 for all four. So it came wheels in pretty good shape for $20, $5 each, not a bad deal. And so just want to kind of show you a golf cart rim. This is 8 inches across diameter, and I think this is about 8 inches across, perhaps 7. Some of the places that you'll look at, the golf cart wheels are 8 and some 7. Not sure exactly. But the reason why I can't use these rims is because of the offset of the back spacing. So on the front of the rim here, you have about 4 inches back from the front, 3.5, 4 inches, and this is also 3.5 to 4 inches from the back here. And if I put this on my hub, it would hit my spindle. It's too deep. And so I decided to get on the interwebs and look up, see if I could find some rims that would be better with a different offset. And so I'm going to show you what I found. So we're going to have a small unboxing video. Of course, I took off all the information, but I just want to show you what I got. I have not opened this yet. This is all first thing. I just cut it open, but I didn't actually take it open. So lots of plastic. Oh yeah, it looks better already. And there should be another one in there. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. This looks a lot better. So I'm just going to show it to you. Give me 1 second. Alrighty, so let's do a comparison here. Here's my new one. You notice the rims I got with the other tires are black, and these rims are black, so they at least they'll match, but I'll probably end up painting them. So here's the two rims side by side. They are the same. So this must be 7 inches across, 8-inch diameter, 7 inches across, 8-inch diameter. And I want you to look at the 4-bolt pattern. This one's a lot deeper than this one. So I don't know if you can see it on the camera. So let me turn to the side here and I can show you where it is. This kind of gives you a picture of where they are. So right where these welds are is where the bolt plate or bolt pattern next to the hub assembly. And so this is about 4 inches each way, and this is 2.5, 4.5. So 2.5 this way, 4.5 this way. So it's a little further back. It's going to be about 1.5 inches back from that one. Maybe, yeah, about 1.5 inches back, 1 to 1.5 inches back from this one. Now, I did the measurements. I did the whole measuring perpendicular parallel thing. I came up with 2 inches and 2 3/4 inches is what I needed for back spacing to clear my spindles. And this is supposed to be 2.5. Now I'm assuming the lip might make that a little bit further, a little closer. But I think in theory, now I don't know this company, can't recommend them. I don't know. I just bought from them. They're Ocelot Racing. Anyway, and so I'm going to try these out and see if they fit on the tractor. I'm going to see how they fit. But again, as you can see here, there's quite a bit of a gap. So I put these side by side here. It's about here. So you got about an inch back, 1.5 inches back. That's quite a bit of space. And I'm hoping that that's just enough to get these installed onto the tractor, and that the wheels will go on. Back here, it looks like a lot smaller. If you look at the differences here, quite a bit. This is a lot closer than that one is. They look like they're pretty well made. It's pretty well made wheel here. So let's go ahead and go inside, and I will see if this will fit on the hub and see if it hits the spindle. If not, the front wheels I'm not so worried about in regarding spacers. The studs on the hubs have nice, good, strong bolts. I'm not worried about that. This is just a tractor. There are cars who have this same bolt pattern, at least a 4-lug bolt pattern, And so adding a few washers on there for spacers does not concern me whatsoever. So let's get these on there and see how it looks. All right, I'm going to take these off. This is the hub I had installed before. I still don't have any grease or anything in it. I'm not driving the tractor right now. So I'm going to try to get the tires figured out, make some adjustments on the throttle pedal to confirm that it's where I want it to be before I put too many more hours on the machine. So I just got to show you what I was going for here. So what I was talking about, 2 3/4 is from straight up here. This would be the back face of where the rim bolts up to the hub to here, where the rim goes, the lip of the rim hits or comes out. This was 2 3/4 from straight up to here, 2 3/4. Let me show you why this matters. So here's the front of the factory rim. If I try to put it on, I can get it over the hub, and I can get it where I can get it to where I might be able to start the nuts. But as you can tell, see, it's hitting right here, so that won't work. So that's not an option. Now, my new fancy rim here. And again, we'll go see how this fits and see if it hits. And it does. Hear that? So it quit. So when I center it up, it just doesn't hit right there. Right there. So let me grab, I've got all the stud length I need right there. So let me grab some washers. All right, so I've got some washers here. These have been used for other things, but that's okay. Just trying it out. So slip that on there like that. I will put 2 on each. As you can tell, plenty of stud length. There's probably a good 3/4 of an inch there. Plenty for what I'm doing. All right, let's try it now. So I got plenty of room now. It does not rub at all. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to install one of the tires on the rims, and then we'll put it back on and make the adjustments then, so that way I'm not wondering. All right, so I got this on here, and we're going to go ahead and see how it fits. Now, I don't know, because I see the rim. None of you see it, but here's the rim. Of course, the tire balloons out just a little bit. Let's see what happens. Okay, we're on. Well, it does not rub. All right, so these are golf cart tires. They should work out pretty good. Okay, there's that one. Oh, they look pretty cool inside here. It's kind of nice to have 4 tires with 4 sets of studs and everything. And anyway, these will have caps over them, so they look nice. Hold on. Just got to get this one straight. I think that's where I'm going to leave it tonight. And I'm going to pick it back up tomorrow or the next day when I get time. And we'll go from there. Okay, well, before we jump into the next phase of what we're going to do to this tractor, I kind of want to show you the final product of what we did to the front end here. Went ahead and got the new rims installed with the new tires, not new tires, new to me tires, and put them on. And it looks awesome. So what I ended up doing, just to kind of show you what I did, was I went ahead and installed these golf cart hubs to the front end with a 4-lug bolt pattern. And these hubs are for the older golf carts, I think 76 to 2003 golf carts, I think. So anyway, they're made for a little smaller axles than the newer ones, and they're meant for standard axles, not the new metric ones. So these turned out really awesome. I'm really happy how they turned out. They fit very well. I might have to do some modifications with my lock collars, but other than that, they fit and look great. And I like how they turned out in the front end here, in the sense that they broadened out the stance of the tractor in the front end. And I think they fit what this tractor, I think, should have looked like from the factory. So the reason why I wanted to go ahead and get these mounted was because I wanted to measure the width of the front wheels so I could order wheel spacers for the rear. And the reason why I want to order wheel spacers for the rear is because this wheel over here rubs the PTO clutch on the inside of the tractor. I want to leave that on there because in the future, I may want to run a tiller, I may want to run a snow blower, and I wanted to keep it as factory as possible so I could use it in that fashion. So I elected not to take it off. And so when I measured this front end here, I came up with about 40 to 40 and a quarter inches wide from edge to edge, not center to center, but edge to edge. And so on the back, when I measured it edge to edge, it only came up to 37 and a half edge to edge. So what I decided to do was buy the larger wheel spacers, which I might have already told you, I don't remember. And I got 2-inch wheel spacers that I'm going to put on here, and I'm going to mount these wheels out wider, and that should put me at about 41 and a half, and the front will be about 40 to 40 and a quarter. And that should give me just what I like about that width is if I get a 42-inch snow blower or a 42 to 48-inch blade, these wheels will still be small enough for the smaller blades, but it'll give me the maximum width in the back for stability in the woods. What I have to really work through is these are 7/16 by 20 bolts, and they are pretty loose within the lug stud holes inside the wheels because these are made for a newer model tractor with wider wheel studs or wheel stud bolts. And so when I mount the wheel spacers onto here, I'm going to have to figure out a way to widen out those lug studs to fit in there tighter, so that way it's not trying to go through the hole. I think that's a solution. But first, I want to go ahead and get out the wheel spacers and show you what I bought and show you what my plan is to get these things to fit on here adequately. All right, so these are the wheel spacers that I got. They don't show my address or nothing, so it should be good. But I got them, and they should work for my application. The reason I got them was they were really cheap. That may be Chinese writing. I don't know. But they've definitely come from California here, but they've made it very clear that they're made in China. So I'm not really too worried about the quality because they're going to be on a tractor that's going to go about 7, maybe 8 miles per hour. I'm not really worried about it. They're not going to hold a lot of weight. These are made for cars, so I'm not really worried about it. But when you open them up, I decided to go with the 2-inch, make sure it's in the view, the 2-inch wheel spacers here. So that's going to give me 2 inches on both sides. And then these studs should be fine to fit the new wheels. And so technically they say garden tractors are 4.5 inches across, but when I measure, I don't necessarily get that exact measurement, but they say that 4.5-inch wheels and wheel spacers fit. My hope is that these go on easily and that I don't have too many issues. Okay, so one of the challenges I want to work through is these holes are made for 1/2-inch studs with these kind of nuts on them. And as you know, standard garden tractors have this size of bolt. If I remember correctly, it's 7/16 by 20. So it's not very big. The head's not very big. And I want to see if you could see it. And if I put it down in there, you'll see, let's see if I can get it in the camera view here. Let's see, and there. You can see, but you threw it. That is not going to be big enough to hold these wheel spacers in place. So I got to come up with another option. So my plan is to find a piece of metal that will form to this outward bevel here, while also forming to the bevel of the bolt and making a better union between the bolt and the spacer. Here's a couple options. So not real complicated. This washer here fits inside of the hole fine. So if I put it in like this, it'd go down in there just fine, and it should form to the outside ring perfectly or just fine. Problem is, the hole is not big enough for my 7/16 bolt. Okay, so moving up washers. Okay, finally got a washer that's big enough for my 7/16 bolt, but now I have the issue of it's not going to fit in the hole. It won't go down. So the easiest option, I believe, is to take the smaller washer, and I like that it's smaller because of how thin it is. It should bend easy. It's more on the hole, and drill out the hole here to be the size that I need for the bolt. I still only have to do 10 of these, So if I can do a number of these and put it in there, my assumption is they should fit fine. But before I go through all that work, I want to make sure that this is going to fit the wheels and the tractor fine before I make any of those do all that work. All right, so what I got here is actually one of the old wheels that I took off the tractor to put on the new ones. And they don't have to go through, they just have to line up, because these holes here are made for 7/16" bolts. Of course, the ones on the spacers are 1/2" bolts or studs. And so I just want to see if they line up. Look at that. They line up perfectly. So that actually fits perfect. I can use this, should be just fine. And I should be good to go. So now, on to the making of the washers. When you do this, make sure you get one with a 3/8" able to fit in a 3/8" chuck. So, all right, so we'll go drill these out. I got 3 in here at once. We'll go see how this goes. All right, we'll drill these out. Try this again. That build evidently was pretty dull. Through. All righty, looks like we're all made. Let's move on to the next step. All right, let's start out with the first wheel. I already have one stud out because using it to measure out the washers. Let's see here. Let's see how this thing works. I've never used this before. Let's see how this works for me. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Yeah, little impact driver. Awesome. I don't have electricity back here, so it's either battery powered or nothing. Good, good, good. All right, that was fast and easy. Now we'll put that back there. Gonna have that ready. It's big enough. It's big enough. It sits by itself. Good. Now, all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bolt into the washer and slip it down the little hole there. Bolt into the washer. Hole. Bolt into the washer. Hole. Bolt in the washer here. All right. See, if you look here, as you can tell, this is not the sit, but as you tighten it, this washer will bend, fill the bevel in here, conform to the bevel here, and make that a nicer, better, a better fit. You're not going to be grinding off the aluminum, and it should bend. These washers should be thin enough they bend pretty easy. So, yeah. Alrighty. So now they're all in. I'm sticking out the back. Push them all down my fingers. Okay, let's see. Pull this off of here. I'll start with this one. Let's see if we can get it to start here. Okay, stick a little nut in your socket. Makes it a little more shallow, so you can actually put some back pressure on that bolt to get it to start. Let's see here. It should thread in almost completely by hand. If I can get to do that. Do that so it doesn't strip anything. I think all those are going in fine. Yeah, they're going in fine. Now, when I torque these down, I'm gonna do it by hand. There you go. It's better. So that way I can feel the compression of the washer to put them in. Alrighty. And that way I don't accidentally over torque them or strip threads. They should be pretty easy to go in. Pretty easy. It feels weird. Put my nut back in there. Okay. All right, it's compressing the washer. I feel it. Yep, it's going in. Okay. Pull that out of there. Try this one here. It's also compressing the washer. Going in. Makes me happy. Okay. Do this one over here. I don't think that one's caught yet. Wait, maybe it did. There it goes. Okay. I feel it's getting kind of snug, so it's compressing the washer. Of course, I'm spinning the axle. Alrighty here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's starting to bend those washers. And then what I'll probably have to do is after I put the wheels on, come back and just snug these up a little bit because I don't want to torque them way down. I wish I had more threads in there. So, alrighty. That one's actually going pretty easy. That one's pretty rough. But it's in. They're all going in fine. I just want to make sure I'm doing it right so I'm not breaking anything. I guess one thing else you could have done is you could have drilled these out and tapped them for a 1/2 inch. That would have been a solution. Maybe if this doesn't work, I'll do that. Yeah, that one's actually going pretty well. That's going pretty easy. There you go. Slowly but surely. That one's almost all the way through. Yeah, I'm going to do it at least till it matches up with the rear. Alrighty. There's that one. Of course, this one's next. You know what? You have an idea that you've never done before, and you're like, hey, I hope this works. I think that's kind of what this is. Yep, coming through. Almost there. We are almost there. Really close, actually. Alrighty. I'll go back and check them. Alright, let me do this one here. Take the nut out of my hand. Using earlier. Yeah, it's feeling pretty snug. But it's working. That makes me happy. And once these are formed, you don't have to do this again. Right where we need to be. Where we need to be. There you go. Yeah, this is not a ratchet. I have one, but it's in my work truck. My 1/2 inch. And this having a little smaller makes it a little harder, but I can feel a lot better everything that's going on. So happy this is working. Because you just don't know something's going to work until you try it. Alrighty. Okay. That's pretty even. So check, check, check. That one needs it, but check. And then probably what I'll do is I'll call it good enough to tighten it to where at bottom it comes all the way to the back there. But yeah, we actually probably are there now. So I like that. I feel like that's pretty good. It's not going to be a lot of weight on there. The washers have actually completely collapsed. And let me show you. Blow them out. Let me show you how they turned out. Give me 1 second. All right. I don't know if you can see in there. You can. The washer has collapsed around the bolt. It's also filled in the gap. Actually looks really good. And so they all turned out pretty decent in there. And that should be good enough. Like I said, I mean, if I have any issues, I can always drill and tap them and put bigger. But the washer allows a lot more face surface to be up against the, allows a lot more face surface against the aluminum spacer. Yet it conforms around the 7/16 inch bolt and head. Man, I love it when an idea actually turns out perfect. All I have to do now is mount the wheel up and snug it down. And maybe here in a couple of weeks or so, I'll use the, well, a couple of weeks after I start using it, I'll go ahead and take the wheel back off and just make sure these are still snug and they're still fitting in the way they want them to. And we should be good to go. So let's mount this up. Fit on there just like it's supposed to. That's awesome. And these actually have lug nuts. The studs are in the spacer, so it actually makes things a lot easier. So. All right, now just to snug them down a little bit. Okay. Okay. Now I just want to hand snug them just to make sure everything looks good or feels right. Oh, that's good. 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 Alrighty. So let me do the other side, and then I'll bring you back and show you the final product.